Welcome everybody. We're out on another project, familiar place, but different project. Got the 120 out here and first grading job for the 120. So we're gonna see how this goes. Let me show you what we got. All right, so here's what we got. We have got a grading job to do. So if you guys remember, I mulched out behind the house over there, that field line back there a few months ago. And we're gonna try to fix this front yard a little bit. It's got a bit of a hole right there. Like right in, put my stuff down. There's a hole like right in that area, big low spot, and it's kind of high back there. So I'm gonna try to just kind of regrade all this out. He churned up all the grass for me, what little bit of grass there was here with his lawn tractor, and we're just gonna try to just kind of dress that down right there, fix this spot, and then we're gonna take the topsoil. He wants to sod the front here. So that shouldn't really need topsoil. The sod comes with its own topsoil, but he's gonna seed this part to save money, so we don't have to sod all of it. So we're gonna take this 18 yards of topsoil and just try to dress it, try to spread it out through here so the seed will take, and hopefully that'll be enough. And that's the project. So let's get started. I don't have a bucket for the 120, but I rented this bucket from Herc. They only charged me 10 bucks, so I thought that was a win. So let's hop in the machine and get this party going. Okay, so I've got this pretty close to where I want it. And now we're gonna take the topsoil and we're gonna start down on that end, and I'm just gonna try to start broadcasting it out very gently. We just want a very thin coating over this sand because this is the worst part down here where the sand is. So we're gonna start down there, and I'm just gonna try to broadcast it out. And then I've got the big landscape rake in the truck, and I may go over it real quick with the rake just to give it a brush down. And that'll be it. We'll just kind of see how far. This is 18 yards is what he told me. So we'll just kind of see how far that goes and make do. All right, everybody, we're done. I was going to rake all this out, but he's going to take care of that himself. He's got a tractor, little farm tractor, and I think he's either going to take the rake through here or take like a chain link fence drag and just drag it along through here and just kind of knock it down. But yeah, it looks good. The 18 yards, and he and I were just talking about this, that 18 yards went a lot further than what we thought. So you know, we're just trying to get a nice thin coverage down over top of that sand so he can get some grass on this. He's going to put down a winter rye. It's almost into November now, so if he can get a fast sprouting winter rye to take on this and just hold this stuff in place until he can sod next spring, he's going to sod that front and then seed over it, probably with whatever he wants. Yeah, that should hold up really good. So that went really well. And I just kind of took what was left of the pile, knocked it down really quick, and yeah, so that looks good. ASV, first time ever grading in this thing, so that was new. And but you know what, it did really well. I'm really happy with the grading so far on it. And yeah, it's not as bad as I thought for the grading part of it. I was pleasantly surprised with it, and with how it did. And obviously the ride in it is smooth with the bogey suspension. I rented this bucket. All right, so neat little thing. Rented this bucket from Herc Rentals for $10. So I priced a bucket out the other day from the local Takeuchi deal. It was like $2,200 or something like that. I would have to rent this bucket like 200 times to equal that. So I think I'm just gonna start renting buckets. And this will, I think this is a Soothby. I think that's how you pronounce it. I think it's one of their buckets. I don't know. It's a 72-inch bucket. It worked great. It worked really good. Perfect. I could see the edge. Everything worked fine. And yeah. And I was only running the machine maybe 3/4 throttle the whole time. I didn't have it wide open, and it worked great. It's flying around, moving around. It's very quick. This machine is so much faster than the Deere. So yeah, that worked out really well. He's super happy with everything. This should take really well. And yeah. That'll work. And you're going to wonder why I'm not grading this down. Well, you're knocking this down with the bucket is because, and this is a good example right here. So this topsoil has a lot of organics in it, and it's really wet. And see how that is hard like that? Once you slick it down with the bucket like that, it's really, it compacts because it's got a lot of sticky organics in it, and it's wet. And it'll just pack down, and then you can't rake it or do anything with it. I learned my lesson with that the hard way the first time I ever graded this topsoil. You do not want to put a bucket on it and flatten it down. I mean, I did it right here just to knock this pile down. But when it comes to doing that, like covering that, you do not want to put it down. And also what'll happen is if you're trying to spread it real thin like we were doing, it'll just clump, and then it'll just drag, and then you'll just have a big bare spot right here. So that's the reason I'm not going back through there with that. Now, if you had a Hydra bucket or a Harley rake to go back through there and just kind of break it up and move it around, that would work fine. The Hydra bucket would work perfect in here for this, but I don't have one of those, so he's just going to take the tractor with the rake or the chains, knock it down, should be good to go. But that's why I'm not grading that out. You don't want to run it over. That's why I tried to run it over as little as possible. I ran over the sand part to compact it, and then we just kind of spread this out, broadcasted it out as best we could, and it looks really good. So that'll work. But yeah, learned my lesson the first time because I thought this stuff would act just like the normal sand the fill sand that I work with, and it doesn't. It's completely different than that when it comes to grading. So you don't want to put the bucket down and try to back drag and slick it down. It just becomes unworkable. So, all right, load this bad boy up. And I'm out of here for the day. So hope you guys are having a great week, and I'm out. Bye, everybody.